Are you an American, Indian, or Brazilian person, or from somewhere else from around the world, and you're thinking about relocating to Ireland and you're trying to figure out what things really are like? If that sounds like you, then this video is for you. One of the things that we all have to deal with on a daily basis is food. It might feel like something that is very kind of minutiae, maybe it's not so important, maybe you think, sure, look, I'll be able to find something to eat surely somewhere and some shops to get groceries from. But you'd be surprised by how even such things like what types of food you'll be able to buy in the stores and what kinds of stores are available to begin with can actually become sources of culture shock and difficulty adapting. So I hope that with this video, you'll get a little bit of an insight and information about what kinds of shops there are in Ireland, so at least you can prepare yourself mentally. First, food in Ireland is pretty good quality across the board, but it is not cheap and prices continue to be increasing. According to a website called checkout.ie, for example, prices of groceries have been rising 13% year on year. So that is not insignificant. Now, luckily, where you buy your food and what you buy can make quite a bit of difference in your grocery bill at the end of the week or at the end of the month. So let's look at the different types of grocery stores that you can buy from here in Ireland, or what different types there are in general. First of all, you have your discount options, so that would be Lidl and Aldi. You have larger full-service supermarkets such as Tesco, SuperValu, Dunnes Stores, and Marks and Spencer's. Then there are convenience stores such as Spar, Centra, Landis, Mace, and Gala. And as a final category, you have smaller specialized shops or local shops such as health shops and ethnic supermarkets. As an expat, also I find it's nice to know that even though you're far away from home, there are still shops where you might be able to find things that remind you from home. However, in this video, I won't be focusing so much on the last category. So we will be tackling more the big fish today. So we'll be talking about the discount stores, Lidl/Aldi, as well as the larger scale supermarkets like Tesco and SuperValu. So let's start with the discount shops. In Ireland, Aldi and Lidl run a tight race for the title of the cheapest supermarket, with Aldi taking a slight edge in broader price surveys. However, each has its advantages. Lidl, for example, has a bakery which offers a wide variety of fresh and affordable breads, pastries, something Aldi doesn't have at all. They also have an app called Lidl Plus app, which provides personalized coupons, digital scratch cards, and discounts. Overall, the layout in Lidl is a bit more spacious, sort of supermarket style layout. It's very clear, and Lidl stocks a higher volume of non-food household items and midweek rotating specials when compared to Aldi. When it comes to the drawbacks, at least for myself, I'm a Lidl girl, so I can't find much to complain about. But one thing that I could gather from online comments at least is that some people are frustrated or making comments about longer wait times, specifically when comparing to Aldi. And Aldi, now these two stores are very similar, but in terms of price and value, this is definitely a big pro for Aldi. They are consistently ranking as the cheapest supermarket overall. They are very efficient, so they are known for getting customers through the tills quickly and efficiently with very attentive staff in terms of queue management. The quality and range is also a pro at Aldi, and many people shop here for dairy, meat, and off-license, so that would be beer and wine selections. A drawback would be that there is a lack of dedicated in-store fresh bakery stuff. Aldi relies more on pre-packaged loaves. And a con also for both of these stores is that you can really mainly get basic foods here. So if there's ever any special ingredient that I would have needed, I have to go to either a more broadly stocked store like Tesco or SuperValu, or even one of the specialty shops. But these two stores are very, very strong on just basic, literal meat and potato stuff. I went to Lidl to check out the various prices, and here is what I could find. So I tried to pick in all these different stores similar or comparable items. I tried to focus on the cheapest option. The first category is fresh produce, and I've picked a few representative fruits and vegetables that are common and available in all the stores I'll be comparing. The next category is cereals and breads, and for this one I've chosen some basics like flour, bread, pasta and oats. Here you can see what the prices would be at Lidl and Aldi. Another interesting thing in this whole store comparison is the category of meat and fish, and this is where you'll see some of the biggest differences between the various stores, which I'll show you later in the video. Of course, we can't forget about dairy and eggs. This is another one with a bigger difference between discount and larger supermarket stores, but here you can already see some of the prices, what they would be for Lidl and Aldi. In my drinks category, I went simple with just coffee and tea, and this category has one of the biggest surprise items in this whole thing. And in the final category, we'll be comparing some basic crisps and basic chocolate to get an idea of where to get the best deals on snacky things. Now let's move on to the larger full-service supermarkets. And in this particular case, I'd be looking at Tesco and SuperValu. Unlike Lidl and Aldi, who generally only carry about 1,500 to 3,000 products, these larger supermarkets will carry anywhere from 30,000 to even up to 50,000 different products. And these products consist of a mix of their own cheaper budget version ranges, and then they also have kind of mid-range products and even higher, more expensive products available, but basically their own brands mixed in with more well-known established brands. These specific stores, Tesco in particular, and a little bit SuperValu as well, carry other items as well, like household items, clothes, and other non-food products. So let's look at Tesco first. Here are some of the pros that I find about Tesco. Tesco has lower prices compared to, for example, SuperValu or even some of the convenience stores. Tesco is considered one of the more affordable full-service supermarkets that are in Ireland, particularly if you take advantage of their club card promotions. And speaking of club card promotions, that is definitely one of the pros as well. You can get some pretty significant savings with utilizing the club card membership. Tesco also has a nice and wide selection of products. Most Tesco stores stock well-known mid-range labels and brands, their own budget lines, standard own brand products, premium called Finest products, as well as some international foods like Polish, Brazilian, and Asian products, but rather in just a smaller scale, not like some of the more ethnic food focused stores. Tesco also has a strong online shop service, which for me as a busy parent, this is actually one of my favorite things about Tesco. Tesco has one of Ireland's most established grocery delivery services. In addition, it also has large stores where it's possible to do kind of a one-stop shop. So often, in addition to the Tesco groceries, there's also like I said, clothing, there's electronics as well, other household goods and other household stuff, as well as pharmacy services, if not as an additional sort of shop right next to Tesco, but you can also buy some basic pharmacy products at Tesco itself. Now quickly to the cons of Tesco. There's a bit of a club card pricing pressure. So many of these fun, amazing deals do require that club card. So sometimes it can be a bit frustrating. Like I've had some hiccups with my card, and it's just always so frustrating when you see, you could get this so much cheaper, but then if you forget your club card, or in my case, it didn't work properly to have that physical card. So yeah, but all in all, if you have that club card membership working and fine, then it's great. Tesco also has a slightly less local feel because it's not an Irish shop. And so Tesco can feel a bit disconnected from some of the local stuff and local community activities when compared to SuperValu in particular. And because of probably the bigger store setup and products coming there from further away, the quality of especially the fresh food can be a bit of hit and miss sometimes, and it can vary greatly from town and region to another. Then SuperValu. And this name is really interesting because when my husband and I first saw that name, we actually thought that SuperValu was the big discount store because we thought value as in get it cheaper. But it wasn't really the case, as we came to learn pretty quickly as we saw the receipt after our shopping. So some of the pros: SuperValu is really truly Irish, and they have strong support for Irish producers. SuperValu places significant emphasis on sourcing from Irish farmers and Irish food suppliers, so that is a great thing to support. Excellent fresh food reputation. So if you ever need anything like fresh meat, SuperValu is the place to go because they have fresh meat counters, fresh fish, and deli counters as well, and fresh produce is also available there at great quality. And they also have baked, more sort of fresher, more locally produced baked goods, and often they have a bakery actually available in store as well. So SuperValu, with that local business feel, also has the local convenience. So many towns have a SuperValu where larger chains may not operate at all, and they are more community focused stores. So often they are locally owned and actively support the local sports activities, for example, clubs, schools, and other events. And at SuperValu, you also get great customer service. Because of that independent ownership, that often leads to a more personal shopping experience, and people are kind of wanting to go a bit more above and beyond to give you as the customer a great shopping experience. Now to the cons of SuperValu. They do have higher prices. So for a comparable basket out of these stores that I've attacked here in this video, SuperValu is usually the most expensive, so more expensive than Tesco, Aldi, and Lidl. Promotions are less significant, less sort of aggressive. So while there are some loyalty offers, the savings are usually not as dramatic as it would be with the Tesco Club Card deals. Store consistency can vary quite a bit. In Aldi, for example, you could go into an Aldi in the US, in Ireland, and then Germany, and the store layout would be very similar. You'd kind of more instinctively know what types of products are sold there and where they would be located in the store. With SuperValu, that is not the case largely. Like the stores, the shops are very different, and things would be located at very different kinds of stations. And personally, one of the biggest reasons after the higher cost for me personally is that it feels too scattered or just not logical enough in the way my brain would work. So you might sometimes in the store that I would go to, similar products here, but then you also find similar products there, and somehow the store layout just isn't as intuitive as I find in some of the other stores. And this is largely because of that individual ownership. So there's a lot of freedom for the owners to set up their stores the way they want to, and that can then lead to different looking stores. So the shopping experience at SuperValu can vary quite a bit from place to place and store to store. If we compare the same items from Tesco and SuperValu as well, in addition to the ones from Aldi/Lidl, then this is what it would look like.
So hit pause if you need to, as there is a lot in these tables. But as you can see, with vegetables and fruit, it won't make a major difference between these stores where you shop, and for a lot of the items listed here, both Tesco and SuperValu have something called an Aldi price match, which really takes the price down in Tesco and SuperValu. It's a similar thing with the bread and cereals category. For almost every product, you could find an Aldi price matched item at Tesco and SuperValu. But still, Team Aldi and Lidl come out as the cheapest in this category as well, though with a narrow margin. With the meat and fish section is where things start getting a bit more interesting. You can simply not beat the prices for meat at Aldi and Lidl, and the difference at the end is getting more noticeable and significant here. With dairy and eggs too, Team Aldi and Lidl is the winner of lowest cost, and that's unsurprising, though the difference is less pronounced in this particular category. Now, with coffee and tea, there's a really big surprise here. As you can see, the price in Tesco is actually the lowest. And that all comes down to this magical thing called the Tesco Italian inspired roasted coffee. It is my absolute favorite tasting coffee ever, and it is dirt cheap. I mean, just look at the price difference to the other coffee that is like a fancy name brand. And don't let the simple packaging fool you with this particular coffee, because it has the absolute best taste, price, and overall deal on coffee ever. Finally, if you need a sweet treat but don't want to break the bank, then Lidl/Aldi is again the way to go. They may not have the fancy Lindt chocolates and other name brands, but the quality is still great, and the savings will really start adding up with this kind of stuff.
To wrap this up, if you're looking to live in Ireland, here is what I would suggest as your grocery shopping strategy. What many Irish households do is do kind of a combination approach. So you do Aldi or Lidl for some of the staples and low-cost items, sort of the bulk of the weekly or bi-weekly shop. You can do Tesco and get some of the club card benefits for some savings and larger weekly shops as well. And SuperValu if you're needing to get fresh meat, bakery items, or locally sourced products. So it helps to have a bit of a mix of things. And this particular way creates quite a nice balance between cost, quality, and convenience. What stood out to you most about Irish shops, and how do you find these are different from where you are from? I'd love to hear your thoughts in your comments below. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, be sure to give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.